so we'll go ahead and did we agree on if this was the new 1 or the new 9?
Well, you kind of made a good point earlier about Star Wars, so let's make it 9.
Okay.
Well, it'll be kind of like we're keeping up with the...
Continue the saga.
Yeah.
Hello and welcome to The Return. Oh, it's the big comeback of the Gringo.
Guapo.
That's right, it's Kyle and Alex back in action. The Gringo and the Guapo. The long-awaited return that everyone's been talking about, and it's finally here. Finally, the boys are back in town, and it's good to see you, my friend.
Yeah, it's good seeing you too, man.
How have you been, sir?
I've been all right.
That's good.
All
good
right.
to hear. So, lots to catch up on because it's been a while. I should have looked and seen when the last sode was because it's been a while. I don't even remember.
I feel like it's been almost 2 years. Yeah.
I don't think that's accurate.
No? You think it's less? Might be less than 2 years.
Well, you know what? No, you know what? I take it back. You might be right on the money, possibly, give or take, maybe a few months. What are we doing? What's the, should we continue? So I think, chronologically, although there was a gap, I think this is 9, but I'd have to double check.
Of the G&G?
Of G&G, yeah. Official G&G episodes, this would technically be 9, I think.
Yeah, okay.
Because for some reason, 8 rings a bell as being like the last one.
Okay.
But yeah, so should we do like a fresh number 1, or is this number nueve?
I think we should.
Which is Spanish for 9.
Thank you for telling me that. I
Yeah,
didn't know.
they don't call me the gringo for nothing. I know some Espanol.
I would say we should start this off as 1. Maybe
Really?
like kind of like a, fresh start.
Okay, so-
lots of has happened. So.
Interesting. I would have gone the other way. I would have said that, even though Star Wars was gone for a while, they still continued 7, 8, 9.
Oh, that's a good point too.
And then I guess it's like, is this like are we rebooting the whole format? Like, is this like a complete clean slate? I want to say, yeah.
Yeah.
I had lots of ideas. I would like, going forward, plan it out a little bit more. That way I had this thing I want to do at the beginning so we could say, like, in this episode, we have a few segments. We're going to go over, like, 4 or 5 segments. One being, like, getting inked, which is, like,
Okay.
talked about, obviously.
Yeah.
Another one is at the theater. We'll talk about something. So it's, like, maybe, like, 3 or 4 segments and then, like, highlight them at the top and then go from there is what I was thinking. Again, it's like a partnership here, so feel free to say it's a terrible idea or...
I think it's great. I would like to also add maybe like kind of like goals. I think it would be cool to have like kind of like goals that we have planned for ourselves.
Oh, okay.
Probably like just a good mental like note.
Well, we've definitely got plenty to catch up on. I don't think we've actually like this is like the real experience here. Excuse my sweatiness.
Yeah.
Also got to rep my gain here, but not only catching up on the pod, but catching up in general. So lots of new stuff. I haven't talked in a while, so let's jump into before we get into getting inked. Let's talk about the big question. I mean, I feel like it's the big thing in the news. I don't know. I'm sure by the time I do get this out, the tidal wave will have passed, but what is your decision, sir? What is your choice? What are you seeing first? Barbie or Oppenheimer?
Oh, man.
Simultaneous release, both on the same day.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. That's going to be tough.
Did you not know that?
I didn't actually.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I figured from your reaction something was off because like the internet is on fire with like that's the thing, dude. Is like the ultimate battle of the box office.
In no way. I mean,
there's a lot of really good memes and stuff of like there's like clips of like it's like from a Mission Impossible movie where it's like me coming out of Oppenheimer and it's like Tom Cruise taking off his makeup and he's like going into Barbie.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm definitely not gonna prioritize Barbie.
Really?
Yeah. Yes.
That's crazy.
I
Interesting.
heard it was. I haven't even seen the trailer, but I heard it's probably a lot more different than most people would think. Is like the
Well,
way
it's an
they.
interesting question. What do you think that the Barbie movie would be about?
I mean, it's they're basing it off of the doll, right? Is that?
I
it's
believe
still,
that there is some sort of action figure that we call it. Yeah, yeah. It's based on the doll. Yeah.
Is it rated R?
It's a hard NC-17.
Are you fucking with me, or is it really like that?
That's another rule I wanted to talk about. Is although this isn't Joe Rogan, so we don't have quite the audience, but there has been a general consensus that like if you start swearing a little too early in the pod, it could be a problem. So
Oh, really?
shut your dirty whore mouth. If anything, not a big deal. I can like I've done it on
You can
myself where
censor it?
I don't bleep. I just erase. Like,
Oh,
so
okay.
it's just like you and your mother. Lots of that. So.
Okay, good to know.
No, it's rated. I don't know. I don't think it's R. I'd be very shocked because it is still Barbie, and I think
Yeah.
you know, they are.
Are they still trying to like?
I think it's
make it for kids?
marketed like if anyone, you're not gonna have a Transformer movie like just for adults. Like kids are gonna see it.
I heard there was some weird shit in there.
So
Some
it
weird
is-
stuff.
So okay, I'll give you a perfect example of like it does look like it does have adult themes, and not to mean that like graphic violence or anything, but there's a part in the trailer like no spoilers or anything, but like she lives in like Barbie world and like everything's perfect Barbie like every day. She's like, yeah, every day I wake up and I have this amazing perfect day and like we have a perfect party and every day and tomorrow is just as perfect as like yesterday. And they're all like, yeah. And she's like, hey, do you guys ever think about death? And like they're all just like, huh? So I think it's like she starts acting like weird, and then like she goes on a journey to like the real world. I guess like she crosses over. So I guess that's your base.
Okay.
Yeah. And then
Is this starring Margot Robbie?
Margot Robbie, yeah, and the Goss, Ryan Gosling as Ken.
Okay.
Will Ferrell is in it as well. I think there's some kind of angle like Will Ferrell is like the boss of the Barbie factory, and
Yeah.
he finds out that like Barbie's real, so he's trying to like capture.
Okay.
I don't know. Just from the
Interesting.
trailer. So the death thing hit me. I was like, oh, I'm gonna see this. Like this is not what I expected. And then Ryan Gosling is like fucking super cool, so I'm
Yeah.
down to see it. Margot Robbie too.
Yeah. No, I'm definitely down to see it.
Sorry to sidetrack. Did you ever see Babylon?
Babylon. I've seen parts of it. I keep hearing like what I hear from other people is that they really like the cinematography, but that the story was kind of off.
It's long. First
Yeah.
of all, it's very long. I enjoyed it. It's like you ever see Singing in the Rain?
The old Singing in the Rain? Yeah.
Singing in the
Okay,
Rain.
yeah.
It's like all right. What if you found out that like it's like the true story of Singing in the Rain, sort of, but not really.
Right.
So it's like the more real version of like old school Hollywood, which I like anything old school Hollywood. I love.
Yeah.
It's a lot of them like the transition from silent to audio and like the transition from like blah 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 and like all this stuff. So it's a
Yeah.
lot of really old school Hollywood, and like yeah, old school like it's like kind of like if you know Singing in the Rain, it's that only
Yeah. Yeah, that's
only
pretty cool.
just like more realistic, I guess.
Yeah.
It's got a great soundtrack, boy. Man, the music, I think that was my big takeaway is that the music is insanely good in that movie.
Is it a lot of jazz?
Yeah, but like crazy orchestra jazz that's like coked out and like it's so chaotic, but at the same time like works so phenomenally
did
well.
you say the jazz is coked out?
Yeah, the movie is coked out.
Oh, the entire movie's like.
It opens up with the opening of the movie is this insane Hollywood party where there's like literally, I think the movie opens with this dude getting like pissed on by
Okay.
this girl.
Damn.
And
And he
it-
likes it.
Oh, he loves it. And it's just like basically an entire orgy in the house, and it's just like whatever debauchery you could think of
Okay, I think
is
that-
going down, yeah.
That is what I.
And at the whole time,
remember.
there's just like this band that is just jamming, dude, while like
Yeah.
all these white people are going insane, and they're just like, like it's fucking. I'll show you a song later. Remind me, but it's great.
Okay.
But all right, so hard no to the Barbie, which is surprising. So I guess you're all in on the Oppen.
Yes, definitely.
You already got your tickets or no?
No, I don't know if I'm gonna try to squeeze myself in for premiere.
Okay,
I haven't
wait
seen.
and see.
I haven't
mean,
seen
with,
a premiere film in so long. Like I don't know if I want to.
Really?
Yeah.
Just gonna always wait until I
Well,
see what
'cause
other people say, or
No, it just
always
that's the
just,
thing that sucks. Is like
once you stream at home, I just never again.
I think I just don't want to like deal with annoying people, especially for that movie. I don't want to deal with like really distracting,
Okay, that's fair enough.
immature, fucking annoying kids. And
No,
stuff,
yeah, it's totally understandable. I did notice. I think it's lessened now, but there was like a significant increase, and I think it was due to the pandemic because I remember, like, as soon as it was like allowed to go back to the theaters, like I was going back to the theaters, and it wasn't like a packed house ever, but I did notice that the people that are in there were like next level. Like, do you seriously think we're in your living room? Because you're just talking
Yeah.
like we're in your living room.
Right.
Like, to an insane level to where it's like, who talks like this in a movie theater? Like, I'll give you, I saw Nope. It was Nope. Did you see Nope?
Yes.
Without spoilers, it has a very cold opening, I guess you want to call it. Cold open, right? To just a cut to like, and that's the scene.
Yeah.
This lady is so loud. Is what was that about? And I'm just like, how about we watch it together
Yeah.
and we find out. Let's go
Right.
on this journey called cinema, where you shut up and you watch the movie, and I can almost guarantee you that you're gonna find out what that was about.
I mean, I agree with you 100%. Although, I'm still kind of wondering, in a way.
I don't think she was wondering the same way
I
we
know.
were wondering.
I know. She's probably just like,
And it's the difference too. I didn't maybe specify that she was like, I don't know how to explain. Like,
what
narrating.
theater was that?
It was a theater that I liked. It's not the one close by. It's a little bit further, but it has like the nicer seats.
Yeah.
They were terrible, and they were just like talking, just like however you would talk, like in your house. And it was so like, I was just like, ah.
If you can I feel like if you can justify that to the ushers, they just come up.
They
with
should have like a button, like a silent, like in a bank when you're being robbed. It should just be
Yeah.
like a silent button, like this guy's being a dick, and like somebody
Yeah.
comes with a flashlight.
Oh,
like, hey,
that'd
shut
be-
up.
No, it'd be badass if they had a spotlight that will like turn on that.
Or like a little like taser button or
Oh
something.
yeah,
It's
like the cattle prod,
shut the
just
hell
like
up.
falls on, like
Or
hits him in the neck or
it's
something.
like you ever go to the 4D theater? It's like
Yeah, exactly like that.
sprays water in their face.
Or like
Um,
skunk, like a skunk spray.
oh,
No, because now it affect
the
the rest
stank.
of it. Everybody, yeah.
Yeah, but Oppenheimer. All right, so Oppenheimer is the choice. I am seeing Barbie first,
Okay.
due strictly to screen time or showtime. This is gonna be a big one.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever in my, I have the unlimited movie thing, and I've had it for a while, and I have never. I tried it a few days ago. It's been I haven't been timing this whole time. It was like over a week. I think it was like 8 days that I tried to get my Oppenheimer tickets.
Yeah.
Over here, completely sold out. The IMAX sold out. Every
Wow.
seat.
Yeah. I believe it.
Everyone.
Yeah.
And it's like, I've been to, what was the other big one that came out? I saw Ant-Man over at IMAX, and it was not sold out. And it's like, not just for the premiere day, but for like every day of the weekend.
Right.
And it's like, I had to find the next IMAX theater close by, and I'm like, unfortunately, kind of off on the side. But that's fine, because it's like, I made a solemn vow to never, ever see a Nolan film not in that format. Like,
Yeah.
after I missed out on Interstellar, and I will never not hate myself for not like seeing that in an IMAX theater. And I'm still waiting for the day. It's like, why don't you put it back in theaters? Like, you release all these other movies. Interstellar, I'll see the hell out of that. Like, yeah, like,
Right. Oh yeah. I mean, eventually, maybe in a couple of years, hopefully that'll happen. Or there are those theaters where you can, if you get enough people, you can rent it out.
oh, that's pretty
That
cool.
would be kind of cool.
I always see them when they're playing like Mario Kart or something. It's just like, man, that's so cool. The speakers have got to be insane.
Oh yeah, that surrounds the volume. It's
but
gotta be
yeah,
amazing audio.
Cannot be more hyped for Oppenheimer. Looks phenomenal. I'm endlessly fascinated because there's lots of, from the trailer, lots of stuff blowing up, obviously. But I keep reading all this stuff about how like Christopher Nolan used no CGI. Christopher Nolan like fuck CGI. Like
Yeah, hell
so
yeah.
it's like all right, there's a lot going on that I don't know how you're doing it
Yeah.
unless it's CGI. Like there's a couple scenes where it's like looks like the goddamn particles are like, and it's just like I don't
Yeah.
understand how you could possibly capture that.
That is crazy. They probably like I don't know. I think there's a way to film.
I guess you just have to
anything,
wait
pretty much.
to see it. I'm actually really looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to hopefully I'm looking forward to everybody finally feeling what I feel, which is like I think about nuclear holocaust all the time. Like
Yeah.
it's wild to think about how basically the whole world is like
Mm-hmm.
in a Mexican standoff, like since
All
like
the
the
time.
80s. Like
Yeah.
just constantly like go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead, because it's like I like so many. I don't know why I watch them, but it's like so many simulations where it's like, well, as soon as they fire theirs, we fire all of ours, and then they fire all of theirs, and it's basically like, well, and there goes the world. Like
Yeah.
the only
Right.
I forget what the word is. Mutually assured destruction is the only thing deterring nuclear war, because it's like everyone understands like, oh, we'll all just die. Like as soon
Yeah.
as somebody shoots one, game over basically, because it's like we have no other move than just like, oh, well, I guess we'll all die then. Like, so like I think about that all the time, and like I get such that vibe from the trailer every time they show Cillian Murphy, and he's just like,
Yeah, you know, it's crazy because that's where like even the testing had to stop. Where they're like, I watched a couple videos on it where they're like, oh no, we should be safe, or you know, this shouldn't harm innocent people, and then it's fucking just what is it, that radiation cloud that
Yeah.
comes after you,
or I love that part in the trailer where he's just like, are you saying that there's a chance when we press that button that we destroy the world? And he's like, yeah, it's like relatively low. And he's like,
Yeah.
relatively
Yeah.
low? Like, yeah, like Jesus Christ. The insane amount of like, or just that part where they're like putting the pin down the middle, and he's just like,
of the core.
yeah,
That's my favorite
dude, that part
I
is
love that
so,
part.
That part is so intense to think about. Like, you're building the ultimate bomb that has never been done, and you're just like, oh god, don't wiggle too much.
Yeah.
I'm also looking forward to.
Sick.
I always mix them up. I don't know if it's Drake or Josh, but one of them is in it,
Oh really?
and I think this might be the spark of like his maybe comeback, because I've noticed him doing like a lot of podcast circulation, and he comes off as like super cool. I actually really like him. It's the chunkier one, but he's
Okay.
not chunky anymore. He's like totally
Ah.
got it under control. But yeah, he's popping up in the Nolan movie, and I'm just like, hey, that's always a good sign of a career jump right there. And yeah, so I know, we'll see. There's a lot of people in this movie, dude. Everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's, 11 miles of film, I believe, is what I
saw
read.
that. Yeah, the
11
roll.
miles of film.
I saw that roll. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
gnarly. Pretty huge.
Also, I think I don't know exactly how they put it because, obviously the film is still in color, but they're the scenes that are in black and white.
Black and
They're
white,
saying that this is like the first featured black and white IMAX film or something about that. Something about it being black and white IMAX hasn't been done before.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Interesting. I did not know that.
Yeah. So that's
Are
pretty
you
cool
aware
too.
of the runtime?
It's almost 3 hours.
On the dot.
Yeah.
Three on the dot.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Not counting previews or whatever, so maybe like 320 on top of trailers or whatever.
Yeah.
3 hours.
Yeah.
But I've so far early rumblings are that I always want to say Chilean, but it's Killian.
Yeah, it's Killian. I've heard I guess
I know.
some people.
I used to say Chilean, and I think somebody like made fun of me, and I was like, "What? He's a chill dude." That's what I
Yeah.
say it.
How's it spelled?
It's with a C.
C-I?
It's like Cill, I think.
Ah,
But
I
I'm
always
almost positive it's Killian.
Okay, I was totally saying Cillian,
Cillian.
so I was way
All
off.
right, that's the Cillian kind of thing.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm almost positive it's Killian, but early reviews are that like he's unbelievable in it.
Yeah, even
Um,
I was watching like an interview with him and Robert Downey, and I think I watched a video of also Matt Damon. Both of them just saying he like killed it.
Yeah, I think this is like I mean he's always been amazing to me. Like whatever movie you want to name, I think he's great in. But this is probably like his like really really big one. Oh yeah, there it is, bingo. With all this Hollywood talk, you hear about the strike, writer strike.
The what? Writer's strike.
Writer's strike.
Yeah, I mean.
And then did you hear about it just happened like yesterday, I think, joining the writer's strike, Actors Guild. So all the writers of Hollywood and all the actors of Hollywood are just like on strike. So basically Hollywood is shut down.
I didn't know. I didn't see the actors part. That's
It
pretty
just
crazy.
happened, yeah.
Yeah.
So like I keep hearing like Deadpool completely halted, whatever other movies are in the works right now, everything stopped completely, yeah. And I guess whoever the dude is, like there's some guy like the head of Disney or something who's getting like all he's doing is just like he's like, oh dang, this strike is crazy. Let's dump some gasoline, because I guess he made some comment like, we'll just wait them out until they start losing their houses, and I just all of Hollywood was like, oh, okay. So yeah, I guess it's getting pretty gnarly.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah, and
Of course, somebody from Disney. Would
I think
say
that you know Ron Perlman, right?
Ron Perlman, yeah.
Hellboy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had this great like he was FaceTiming, and he had this great. He went on this whole speech about like, oh, you want to like threaten people's homes, like, dude, like there's right. a lot of ways to lose your home, like especially when people know where you live, like that motherfucker, like yeah, he like really went out. It was like, oh, Ron Perlman, fuck yeah, dude. Yeah, but
well, also you shouldn't like threaten the talent.
Yeah, basically everyone that you need. I keep thinking about like, hey, I'll write a strip if you want. I'm a terrible actor. I'll be the new Iron Man. What's up? Robert Downey beats the hell out of me. Take my job.
That's crazy. You know, I always think about like even with like short films, you know, like independent productions. You know, it's like you don't want to piss your actors off, because if let's say you already, you know, shot like half the movie and they're not like in any kind of contract, you know, it's just like low budget filmmaking, and they walk off, your whole movie's
done,
fucked,
yeah,
or screwed, you know. It's
Did you hear about like they're not doing any premieres either? Oppenheimer, Barbie,
no. Oh wow.
no premieres. I think Oppenheimer, they were doing their premieres like in early Europe, maybe wherever they were doing it. They did like one, and then like as soon as it was done, because they heard about the strike, and they're like, all right, we're done.
Yeah.
And I think Nolan too. He's like, no, I'm not doing any more movies until the strike's over. Like,
Wow.
yeah, he's like ride or die
Damn.
with his Hollywood peeps. Which I mean, like, I am as well. It's hard to be on the side of like the one bajillionaire who's like, nah, I don't want to give him more money. Like,
Is that what it's coming down to, especially with the act?
I think it's also
actors?
like I think AI is wrapped up in there.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're up to date on the new Black Mirror.
I've watched like one episode.
I think there's a new episode that kind of like summarizes like what the Hollywood hubbub is about. There's an episode with Salma Hayek where Netflix is like, all right, for example, it's making a show called Alex is a Douche, and it's about you, and like they dramatize everything in your life to make you look horrible, and
Yeah.
it stars Leo DiCaprio.
Okay.
And it just makes you look terrible. So you're like, oh, what the hell? And then like you go to complain, and they're like, oh, it's not really Leo DiCaprio. It's like AI generated Leo DiCaprio. So it's like, what are you gonna do? So then like to fight back, she does something crazy, so it has to be recreated on the show.
Mm-hmm.
And then Leo DiCaprio's like, that wasn't me. You're making my image do some crazy stuff. And they're like, yeah, well, it's AI, and we own the images. So like, what are you gonna do about it?
Oh.
And then there's also, I'm with the writers. I think the writers started striking because they're like, we can use AI to just write a whole script. What do we need you guys for? And then all the writers are like, what the hell, man? Like, you're just gonna have crappy computers make these whack ass scripts. Like,
Man, that's crazy, because I have a
something-
colleague.
It's something I've been wanting to talk to you about
Yeah.
as like a photographer or
Yeah.
whatever, because I know that that's also a big area where AI is like, oh, you just type in bologna sandwich on the moon and you get the greatest picture of a bologna sandwich you've ever seen on the moon.
Oh man, yeah. I had a colleague. We had this little debate, me and him, and he's a very intelligent person, like crazy intelligent. This guy's his hobby as well as his profession is research.
Nerd
everything.
alert.
Yeah. And so he was he was talking to me about, he's like, man, he's like, I'm worried and excited for the future of entertainment because in the next 3 years it's going to change so much. And I've always been more of like a practical in camera, like the way all my instructors taught me in camera, practical effects, that's the way it should be. And so he's like, yeah, man, he's like, all that stuff is going to be gone. And I was like, well, then why go see it? I'm like, and then why take the credibility?
Yeah.
If you have AI writing your script, you suck. You can't do your job like that's, or, as a production company, you're not going to get, somebody actually like putting in everything they got, passion, behind it. You're not going to get that.
Like, one, with like the writing thing, I don't think it's like where it needs to be to where it's that good yet. But it's like that thing where it's like every day it's only getting better.
Yeah.
So to look ahead is like, okay, now it's getting scary. Or like when you see like the deep fake thing, it's like the deep fake thing already looks pretty good. So you give it like a few years, it's gonna be like insane. And like I've thought about it to where it's like so it's like if it wasn't taking away people's jobs, if we lived in this universe where it's like money didn't matter, then it would be awesome. I would love to just like type in Arnold Schwarzenegger and a dolphin movie romance or something, and it gives you like a whole movie. Whatever movie you want to watch, you can watch any kind of movie, which would be awesome. But then on the other hand, it's like, well, I don't want to also destroy Hollywood, and I also like the industry, and I like the creative part of it. But also, it is like at the same time really kind of cool and a bit terrifying, I guess, to think of like when it, because I feel like it's only inevitable when it does get like out of control, when you can't tell. It's already like.
It's pretty.
It blurs the line, and then
crazy.
it's like, well, what if it starts like deep faking Biden or whatever, and it's like just stir up all kinds of trouble that way.
You could, and I'm not for it. I'm definitely like every time one of my coworkers he sees me, he's like, hey, you don't like it because it's not analog, huh? And like that's pretty much where I come from. But definitely with filmmaking, dude, it's like that's the whole collaborative like point of filmmaking is you have actors and actresses that are trying to become the best that they can. That is the process. Same thing with a director. Then you wouldn't need a director too if you have an actor that's AI generated.
Yeah, exactly.
It's pretty much that would kill the industry, and I'm not for it.
I think that's why they're
and it's never going to be as good.
I think it will never be as good now, for sure. I think it's always going to have that weird like you can tell this is AI. I feel like there's a good chance you probably haven't seen it, but there's a new Disney show, Marvel show, Secret Invasion, and this happened I think right when the strike popped off, because it was like a big thing. Because it was like such bad timing for Disney, because I think the strike just happened, and they were like, yeah, we're scared about all this AI taking over. And then Disney's like, oh, boy, bad timing because we just had the title sequence to this new show completely AI generated. So it's like the whole title sequence is like this AI art thing, which has like, I feel like it's a really good example of where it's at right now, where it's like it starts out and it's like, oh, this is kind of cool. But like the longer it goes on, it's like, oh, this looks not that cool anymore. It's like got that weird AI thing where it's like it can only go for so long before you're like, this isn't a human anymore. This is like computer generated.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I think eventually, like you said, it can't be consistent all the way through, and I don't care for it.
But it is still very early. I feel like if we continue to let it go, I think Musk always talks about the inevitability of it taking over or whatever. So
right,
I think it is only a matter of time before Terminator full on. We can. I feel like we've been going for a while, but there is one thing I want to talk about, and since I just brought up a pretty good segue into it, what do you think about the ultimate super fight of the millennia? Musk versus Zuck.
Well, I think
Who you taking?
I mean, I'm on camera right now, so I would definitely take my boss.
Yeah, because I've seen some recent photos, and I would not take your boss. Have you seen the recent photos of Zuck?
I heard that
He's legit. I mean,
I think
we were just talking about
he
AI.
he does fighting, right? He
and
actually.
and if anybody has got like deep fake capabilities, it's probably Zuck. But I've seen some pictures that are like, it looks like his head was pasted on top of like some gnarly MMA shredded. I'm just like, fucking Zuckerberg, what the
Damn.
fuck? And then yes, like you said, I don't know his exact credentials, but he is. I read something, some kind of belt. I don't think it was black, but it was blue maybe, which I feel is still any kind of color is like, you know more than I do.
Yeah.
But yeah, what do you think about? You think it will actually happen or
No.
really?
I think it'll be more just.
You didn't see that whole thing with Dana where he's like I'm down, like this will be and I agree with him that I think it would be one of the biggest events, dude. Like, you're telling me you wouldn't watch it? You're telling me
oh no, I would watch it. Of
I
course,
can't
yeah.
even think. When was the last time you bought a pay-per-view anything?
Yeah.
I
right.
think I'd be down for this one pay-per-view. I'd be like, yeah, I'd buy it. Like, fucking yeah, watch this ultimate nerd fight, dude. Like, I want them to take both.
Damn.
Like, all right, 1 year from today, you got 1 year. They both, however you want to do it, because they both have the resources for sure. Like, tell me in a year you can't like get into like pretty good fighting shape. You can hire all sorts of crazy people to help you out to like train you and quit time. Like a full year of just them being like 100% committed.
I mean that would be.
One of them kills the other one.
That would be pretty epic. I mean, the thing I'm trying to figure out is, was there, like, I've been out of the loop of this for sure. It's like, was there some beef that happened?
Oh, there's beef.
There.
Oh, there's a little thing called Threads.
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
not on Threads? You haven't gotten your thread yet, bro?
No,
Where your Threads at?
I don't got my threads, dog.
That's crazy because I feel like as soon as you open up Instagram, like it makes you do it. It's like you open up Instagram, it's like, hey, don't you wanna thread?
Is that like with the messages where you leave a comment, people can
it's
join
Twitter.
in? Oh, it's pretty much. Oh, I didn't even.
It's 100% just Twitter,
Yeah.
except they call it Threads,
Okay.
which
Damn.
which is I was never a Twitter dude, and I still am
Same.
not, because it's just like words, and I just don't think I'm that clever to just be like constantly, like every day you gotta have something cool to say.
Something to say that's gonna like draw.
You know what I mean? And
Or
it's
a
like
good image that's also gonna bring people in.
I guess I'm just not good at just dropping 2-line sentences that are just like bangers, I guess. So Twitter never really appealed. And then also the same thing where I'm looking at it, like I would prefer to absorb video media or pictures instead of just like Jack Black wrote like, hey, what's up with the new whatever Hot Pockets? Like, all right,
Yeah.
like I don't know, it just never really hit me. So Threads, when it popped up, I was like, all right, and I kind of like, all right, it's just Twitter. I think because he had it like synergized with Instagram, he was able to like in a day had like a bajillion signups, so it like broke the record for like biggest social media app to get like a bajillion followers in a day or something. And yeah, Elon's not been quiet about like, hey, this is clearly you ripped me off, dude. What the hell?
Yeah.
And then he's just like, tee hee, like Twitter's like kind of on fire. Isn't Threads cooler? So there was like that kind of stuff, and then like I don't even know how it started. The whole like official like you should fight each other. Like I don't know how that
Yeah.
came up, but I think they both were like, yeah, we're both down. I don't know if it was like a joke or not, but I do agree that it would probably make more money than any other fight that I could ever think of.
Yeah.
Even more than like what was the biggest one I could think of? Was Mayweather and
Pacquiao.
no, dude, Mayweather and McGregor was the
Oh, yeah,
biggest
that
one
was-
I could possibly. I think
that was
that's called
actually
the money fight
Really? Okay.
because they made so much money for such a meh fight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I never got to see that fight.
You didn't miss much.
Or you know what? Maybe I did actually.
It
I feel
was
like I did. 'Cause
fine.
didn't he got Mayweather with a couple good hits?
I mean,
right?
like it was
I feel like,
fine.
yeah.
I feel like Mayweather was mostly just like kind of.
Yeah. He knew.
I think
he knew.
he knew how much he could play around and still make
Yeah.
it like a little bit entertaining. I think once it like, because it happened a little bit before the fight actually happened, where it's like you find out like, oh, they're making so much money, And then like when you have this thing, it's like, oh, it's just a bunch of money. Like they
Yeah.
don't really like, oh, I'm gonna fight you.
Yeah, it's like a-
nah. It's just like I think they're just both psyched about making more money than anyone's ever made.
And-
So it's hard to be like, yeah, beat each other up when they're just both like, dude, we are so rich right now. Like, dude. Like, yeah. So it kind of took away some of the like, get them when it's just like, yeah, we're both winning. We already
Yeah,
won, dude. We got
it's-
all your money. This is great.
It's not like an actual title fight or anything.
Yeah,
like
and that was the
that.
other thing
It's
too.
just-
It's like it doesn't really mean anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah. I don't know. It was a good one. Going
Yeah.
for a while here.
Yeah.
Because I started the timer late, but we got to be at least at like 35, give or take.
And we're at what? We're at 28.
35, give or take.
Okay.
Give or take.
So you want to cut and then do another?
If you want, yeah.
Yeah.
Going for a while.
Yeah, we can do that.
This is like a good stopping moment, I guess.
Yeah.
Topical stuff. All right, so we'll go ahead and. Did we agree on if this was the new 1 or the new 9?
Well, you kind of made a good point earlier about Star Wars, so let's make it 9.
Okay.
Well,
all right.
it'll be kind of like
We
we're keeping
will
up with the.
Continue the saga.
Yeah.
All right. So thank you so much for tuning in. We saved it for the end, but if you haven't already, hit that like and subscribe, and make sure you keep tuning in for more Gringo.
El Guapo.
And we'll see you next time on the pod.